Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. So our webinar will going to start after 2 minutes. We'll on time. 4 o'clock we will start the webinar. So today our topic is how to start your career in VR and game technology. So we will start shortly. So you may ask your friend to join this webinar and register now also can. We will start it shortly. Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle from Divisions of Program Promotion. Welcome to Utah Live webinar. Glad to see you all here. Well, today's topic is about how to start your career in VR and game technology. Today, our speaker is Mr. Kevin Tan. He is graduate from Master of Education Open University Malaysia, Bachelor Commerce Accounting and Information System, University of New South Wales. He also is our Faculty of Creative Industry, Sungai Long Campus, Head of Department, Game Study. After the topic sharing, there is a Q&A section. If you have any question, please click the Q&A button below the screen here. Due to the time limit, we will not able to answer all the questions. Only the selected question will be answered. So, all right, now we can welcome our speaker, Mr. Kevin.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let me just share my screen. All right, so afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. Kevin Tan. I'm the head of department for game studies here in University Tunku Abdul Rahman. So I'm going to give you a talk today titled How to Start Your Career in Virtual Reality and Game Technology. Okay, so just a disclaimer, all the images that you see later on, they are all sourced from the internet, yeah? Right, so on with my talk. So an introduction, who am I? I just introduced myself. Now, how many of you have played virtual reality or augmented reality games? I'm sure a lot of you have, right? It's very obvious because you interact with consoles like the PlayStation or the Wii or Xbox. Yeah, you probably played games like Beat Saber. Okay, you haven't seen that in the arcades. Or you own a PC, and there are tons of VR games out there. Yeah, for example, Minecraft. Or you may have a smartphone, and smartphones, one of the more famous augmented reality games is Pokemon Go, right? And of course, there are VR headsets where you plug your phone to the VR headset and you can also watch and play virtual reality. So just to share with you some business stats on games, the global augmented reality and virtual reality and mixed reality market is forecasted to reach US 30.7 billion in 2021 and rising close to US 300 billion by 2024, according to Statista. 1 in 5, basically 19% of US consumers have used VR in 2020. So this is a 3% increase from 2019, according to AR Insider. 67% of US households play games, according to Infographic. 70% of the world population plays video games. And the average age of a gamer is 34 years. Here in Malaysia, there are 20.1 million gamers, and they are spending approximately US 673 million on games in 2019 alone, according to Newzoo. So you can see from all these stats, games is a very big market, yeah? And VR technology is one of the technologies being used in games, and you can also see that it's on the rise. So let's get into some terminology here. Okay, so a quick intro to what VR, AR, and XR is. So VR stands for virtual reality. And as you can see in this picture, virtual reality, basically you interact with a virtual world and everything that is happening is in this virtual world. You put on a headset and maybe you have some sensors on your hands and you basically move around in this virtual world and interact and play in this virtual world only. That is called virtual reality. Now, another technology is called augmented reality. So Pokemon Go is one. In this case, let's say, I'm not sure what is this manufacturing company, but let's say it's a furniture company and they want you to see their furniture in your home. So augmented reality is basically the opposite of virtual reality. Things are not happening in the virtual world, they are happening in the real world, but they are augmented with virtual items. So you basically have an augmented device like a handphone camera, which can then place items onto that screen so that you can see them in the real world. Okay, so that is augmented reality. Now, third one is called mixed reality, where you actually combine both the virtual reality and the augmented reality to have some sort of mixed experience. So it could be a case where you put on a VR headset and you are seeing virtual world, but you are also picking up real things and interacting with real things in this virtual world. So that is called mixed reality. Okay, so basically all these three, VR, AR, and MR, they are under the term XR. Okay, X stands for the various V, A, or M. And you can see from here, it is the future. XR is the future. It's already being used in games, obviously, entertainment. It's used in education, in the military, for healthcare, manufacturing, engineering, retail, marketing. Okay. And I'm sure all of you here own a smartphone, correct? What is the first thing you do when you get your smartphone? Okay, so according to this stats, according to Statista, you are going to download apps, right? What's the first app you download? Most likely is WhatsApp. And then maybe Facebook, maybe Fortnite, maybe PUBG. Okay, it will be one of these games that you will download to go with your expensive handphone, right? So you can see from here, the demand for games is very, very high. Okay, and so it's a good time to be in this field of study because the demand and the need for game creators is high, both here in Malaysia as well as overseas. Now, if you think that games is just for fun, just for entertainment, I have news for you. Because having learned the skills of making games, you can actually branch off into other areas. Okay, one of them is gamification. When you understand the rules and interactions of games, you can then apply it to real life situations. Okay, one of them is the reward points that you find in Starbucks. Okay, so you basically drink a coffee, you buy a coffee, you get a chop, right? So the more coffees you buy, the more chops you get. And by the time you get, let's say, 10 chops, you can get yourself a free coffee. So that encourages you to buy more. That is one of the most basic principles of gamification. Yeah, like Pepsi, they go for reward badges and stuff like that to encourage people to interact and appreciate their products. For those of you who are using Shopee or Lazada, they are also applying gamification to it. So you find that you're doing all those collecting coins and stuff to encourage you to buy more things. Yeah, gamification. Now, another area that we can look at is serious games. So serious games is basically using game engines, but you are not using it for fun purposes. Okay, an example is America's Army. So you have the America's Army using game engines to basically promote joining the American Army. So you appreciate what they are doing in America's Army, and you maybe, if you're an American, then maybe you want to join the army. So that's what they do, yeah? So you go into the virtual world of an American Army and understand and appreciate the things that they do. Even in the fire department, you can use serious games, create a game, and using the game engine to create a firefighting simulation. So with this, you can learn and train your firefighters to fight virtual fires. You don't have to spend, hundreds of thousands of ringgit to simulate fire fighting exercise. You can do it all virtually. So if you mess up, it doesn't cost anything. Just press a restart and do again. Do it as many times as possible, yeah, until you become an expert. Or you can do brain operation, for example, in this picture here. Okay, so obviously you're not going to kill anyone if you do things virtually. So you can operate and experiment, and the system can tell you where you went wrong. So there is no harm done, but you gain your expertise from serious games. Now, to create all these applications, obviously you need to have an understanding about game creation and game technology. Yeah. Even in education, yeah, creating educational apps, or if you're into business training, also understanding about games can then be applied into business training, or even in manufacturing, using game engines to train employees on manufacturing processes. There's another branch called Evergaming. So Evergaming is basically, for example, making a game for McDonald's. And when players play this game, then they feel like eating a burger from McDonald's, for example. Or when you play this game by Cheetos, you remember the brand Cheetos or M&Ms, so on and so forth. Yeah. In terms of career prospects, here in Malaysia, these are some of the more famous companies that you can find. Just to share with you, and a lot of my students have gone for their internship. Some of them are working in some of these companies here as well. For example, in Magnus, and as well as Space Park. Okay, and if you surf online, you can see a whole list of companies that are based in Malaysia. This is not the full list. Obviously, you can find more, but I just show you some examples. So, for example, we have Codemasters in KL Central. Okay, they've done famous games like F1, Dirt, and Flashpoint. Okay, these are the assets done in the KL studio. How about these titles? Do they look familiar to you? Okay, Dark Souls, Mortal Kombat, Uncharted 4. Yeah, so we have a company in Puchong called Passion Republic, and they have done a lot of these game assets for these companies. So these are the actual work done by Passion Republic. Yeah. So obviously they are more focused on the art side. They even did a chapter called The Malaysian Job for Uncharted 4. Yeah. So this was done also in Passion Republic. I believe this was based in Klang. And over in Bangsa South, there's a company called Streamline Studios. So they do a lot of contract work for games like Unreal, Gears of War, Termination Salvation. Yeah, these are some of the assets they've done. Even they did work for Capcom and Street Fighter. And if you think Malaysia, not enough companies, okay, you can go across the border to Singapore. In Singapore, there is Koei Tecmo. They've set up a studio there. Or maybe you've heard of Ubisoft. Ubisoft is in Singapore as well. They've done things like Assassin's Creed. And recently, Riot Games, creators for League of Legends, has set up a studio in Singapore. So, in fact, one of my students has shifted to Singapore to work with Red Eye Studios. So, yeah, you can basically do that. Yeah. So you may be asking the question, what is involved in making games? Okay, first thing, there is game art. So you have to do things like concept art, okay, drawings, characters. Then you translate this into 3D models. Obviously, to make something like this run in the game, you need skills so that the computer doesn't crash. Yeah, because if there's too many polygons, the computer cannot handle it. So you need skills how to optimize. Okay. So in our program, you will learn how to do simple modeling right up to more complex. And then, of course, rigging the character, setting up the skeletal mesh for the facial animations, okay, and also to do cinematics. That is game art. The second component is game design. So in game design, we will be involving things like storytelling, game mechanics. How does the interactions work? How are the rules going to work together? what are the advantages and penalties, okay, risks and rewards. You also learn about level design, how to design a level effectively for maximum gameplay and fun. And then the third aspect is game programming. So you learn things like game physics, yeah, like in Angry Birds, you have to calculate the projectile so that the birds will land nicely, yeah? Or in Just Cause, how you do all the physics interactions, okay? Game programming involves interacting with the game engine, okay, so that your interactions are fun to play with and meaningful. So examples, you'll be working with Unity and Unreal Engine, which can also export to VR. Okay, so basically when you join a game company, you either be joining the game art department, the game technology department, or the game design department. And all these three will work together to create a game. So in the division of game studies, we also follow this structure: game art, game design, game technology. Yeah, we have two programs here in Utah. The first one is called the Bachelor of Arts in Game Design. It is essentially a game art and game design program combined. Here you will learn game design, storytelling, level design, game art, and some programming as well, basic game programming. In Bachelor of Science Game Development, you basically learn game maths, graphics programming, artificial intelligence programming, physics programming, and you also learn a bit of basic game art and a bit of basic game design. So remember the three circles I showed you earlier? So this one is more focused on the technology, a bit of art, a bit of design. The earlier one is more focused on the art and design with a bit of programming. So our programs here in Utah, we are comprehensive. You'll find that the programs have covered the whole range of topics so that you learn things. It is practical. Yeah, so it's not just about learning theory, but you actually create practical games that you have to interact and play with. It is holistic. So we look at the overall development of the students and not just learning about the core subjects, but also your overall student development as well. Okay, and we also have learning outside the classroom. So it's not just learning everything in the classroom. Before the pandemic, we were taking students for field trips. We were supposed to go for Passion Republic, but because of the pandemic, unfortunately, we had to put it aside for a while. Yeah, but we will continue once things are clear. Students always enter competitions. So here, one of the competitions they entered was the Siemens CMyCT competition. And we invite experts to come over to give talks every now and then. People like Michael Uy, Wan Hasmer, okay. And we also go for industry visits, like we went to Lemon Sky sometime back, as well as Gameka, and we're supposed to go to Passion Republic, but that had to be put off for a while. In terms of facilities, as you know, games are more focused on PC based. So most of your works will be in the PC labs. We have 3 PC labs for learning games. And for the Adobe Suite softwares like Premiere as well as After Effects and maybe Illustrator, we will use the Mac labs. Okay, so we also have 3 Mac labs to do this, to learn this. And we also, especially for game students, we have this special area called the game room. It's equipped with televisions, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, and even the Oculus Rift. So this is a smaller size room for students to get together and discuss, as well as try out games, because this is part of their assignment. So yeah, it's quite cool. Huh? You get to play games as your assignment. Okay, so we'll come to almost the end here, and basically this is where the Q&A comes in. Some of the more common questions that students ask, I will answer that first, and then later you can add on if you want. First misconception: games is not serious. Okay, maybe your parents are telling you it's not serious. Don't confuse having fun with not serious. It is actually a very serious business. You can see here that it's millions of dollars. People all over the world are playing games. You have a handphone, you have to have games in your handphone, right? Obviously. So even mothers nowadays, they are playing Candy Crush and all these kind of things. Somebody has to make them. Who? People who learn game development. There is no future, obviously not true. Here in Malaysia, you say, oh, there are no game companies. I just showed you there were many, many game companies, right? Maybe you have not heard about them. It's partly because they don't advertise the games that they do. They basically do contract work, and then they send the contract work to companies in Japan, US, UK, and they get paid for it. So end of story, yeah? Okay, then another common question I get is, I can't draw. So if you can't draw, but your math skills are not bad, calculations is quite good, you can consider our Bachelor of Science Game Development program. So this is more on the technical side of game development. And you learn a bit of drawing, but it's just enough for you to understand and appreciate how to create games, okay? But it's not for you to actually do the art assets. So if that is your strength, technical side, then you can consider joining this program. Or you may say, I hate programming. I want to make games, but I have to know programming. Yes, you need to know programming, but if you join a game company, like I said, I show you the 3 divisions. Most of the programming will be done by programmers. Okay, so if you join the Bachelor of Arts Game Design, you are basically focusing on the art and the design part of the program of game development. So you will, if you do programming, it is very, very basic, very, very simple things, just to make things work. That's it. Yeah, not to optimize, not to have artificial intelligence and physics and whatnot. Okay, then the next question I also get, I can only work in games. Again, not true. Yeah, I shared with you earlier, you can work in areas like serious games, ever gaming, or you can work in gamification. These skills that you learn here in the game programs, you can think of it as an advanced multimedia skills. And companies all over the world are looking for people who can do more than just simple multimedia. So if you learn advanced multimedia, you are in a good position to advance your career. Yeah. And the last question I got was that VR is just a passing craze. Okay, I shared with you just now some statistics. You see that it's not a passing craze. It is actually one of the technologies for games. Yeah, virtual reality. It gives a new experience to players because you are seeing the world in a virtual sense. Yeah, and to create this kind of worlds, obviously you need certain skill sets to create it. So come join our program and we will show you how this can be done. Okay, it's just one of the many arsenals that you're going to learn in order to create engaging, fun experiences for customers. Okay, so any other questions from the floor? I'm open to Q&A. Okay, so there's a chat here. Can art stream students study? Yes, of course. If you are from the art stream, then you are encouraged to join the Bachelor of Arts Game Design program. Okay, because in the game design program, you basically learn mostly on game art and game design. Okay, so as long as you can do simple math, not a problem. You can join this program. Does that answer your question? Karen? Okay, you're welcome. Right, any more questions? My drawing and Sunny are both very bad and ugly. Am I suitable with this? Are you thinking of joining the game design program or are you thinking of joining the game development program, the technology program? Thomas, which program are you thinking of joining? Game design or game development? Game development, okay. Do you have a pass in math Okay, so you do. If you are thinking of joining a game development and you say your drawing is very bad, no problem. Okay, because like I said earlier, the technology side is more technical. You will learn a bit of basic drawing, a bit of game design, but it is just for you to understand how the game designers and game artists work. Okay, and of course, maybe one day the artist is sick, at least you know how to operate the software to get the assets so that you can work on it without the artist around. If not, you'll be lost. If you join a game company and the artist is sick, then everybody just sit there and wait and do nothing because you don't understand how to use the software, or you don't know how to just draw one simple line to make the thing complete. The artist didn't draw that line, or you forgot to draw the line, you couldn't do that. So at least you know how to use Photoshop, you can do that. Yeah. So what I can say is, if you join game development, you are mostly concentrated on the technology side. So programming, artificial intelligence, game physics, linear algebra, stuff like that. So yeah, don't worry if your drawing is bad. Having said that, I also have game development students who were terrible at drawing before they joined the program. But these are skills that it can be learned. Yeah, if you have the passion, you have the interest, you can actually pick it up and you can actually be very good at it. In the past, I also have students who don't know anything about 3D. At the end of the course, the student was the best student in 3D. Okay, so basically, it's not like, oh, I can't draw, I can't do this kind of creative course. That is why we are here. That is why we have creative course, because we can teach you. But the most important thing is you want to learn and you are hardworking. You want to improve. If you have these two attitudes, then you can improve. If you just want to learn, but you don't want to do the work, you don't want to submit your assignments, or you just do it half-heartedly, then sorry, we can't help you. Yeah. But if you're hardworking, anything is possible. So don't worry so much about, oh, you can't draw, or your programming is terrible. It can be learned. Yeah. We're here to help you. Okay, any more questions? I hope that answers your question. Can software engineer shift his job into game software developer? They are quite similar. Okay. You are currently in a software engineering course. Am I correct? You can, okay. There are people who join animation program who then join a game company and do very well in the game company. There are people who learn electrical engineering, join a game company, and then do very well and become game programmers. Anything is possible. Yeah. When you join a game company, they are more concerned with what you can do rather than what degree or whatever you have. However, having said that, if your mind is all set on working in a game company, why are you wasting time learning other things, right? Because when they are interviewing students to join the company, they want to see your portfolio. What games have you made? What experience do you have in games? They want to see that. So if you don't have anything to show, it's difficult to convince them to hire you, unless you continue in your software engineering, but at the side, you are making games and showing off. You have very awesome stuff to show. Then it's a different story. Then the game company will be impressed. Okay. If not, you have nothing to show, they will say, okay, you say you're passionate about games. Where are the games that you made? Can I see them? They have nothing to show. Okay. So joining a game program will actually set you in the right path. Yeah, we figure out what are the danger points and where you can go so that you can navigate smoothly to join game companies. So I hope that answers your question. Can I see any game developed by Utah students? Okay, we do have some with DPP if I'm not mistaken. So maybe later we can share some with you. Last one, sorry, I don't understand. What does plus, Thomas, what does +1 mean? Oh, you want to, you as well, you want to see that as well. Okay. All right, so some of the games are done using Unreal, so maybe I'll have to arrange with Michelle to get those games into DPP, and maybe you can come in and have a look at it if that's what you want. Yeah. Okay, any more? All right. Average salary of game. Okay. So let's answer the first question first, average salary. So average salary, similar to a lot of creatives, you can start for as low as 2005. It can go up to 5K. Okay, it depends on how good you are. And then of course, if you're senior position like 4 years plus, you can command 5K and above. So again, this is dependent on the company and dependent on your skill level. You can actually go to Job Street and just type there game developer salary, and you can see the kind of jobs they offer and what kind of salary they're offering. Okay. Okay, so I think the other two questions are quite similar, right? Yeah, I encourage you to go to Job Street and check it out. These are game companies. They will tell you what the salary are. You can see for yourself how much they're getting or how much they're offering. Yeah. Fresh grad, 2.5 to 3K, around there. Okay, do we still? Oh, we still have a lot of time actually. I spoke too fast. Okay, any more questions since and by the way, this is my email if you wish to contact me. So you can just drop me an email anytime, and I will answer your questions if, let's say, you've just thought about a question suddenly. Yeah. Any master's program to further study. So we have a Master of Communication and Master of Creative Arts here in Utah. So this one you can check with Michelle on how to sign up for this. So you'll find that once you reach master's and even PhD studies, the degrees tend to be more general. Yeah, it's no longer focused on, let's say, focus on games alone. So it'll be more on media, and then you can specialize in games if, let's say, that is your area of interest. Okay, but it will be a more general program as you move higher up the level. Okay, any more questions? Any game company collaborating with Utah? Okay, we were supposed to collaborate with 2 companies because of the pandemic. So we put it on hold for now. One is with Reshape Interactive. So we were doing game testing for some of their works, and then we were working with Elite Mobile. So we sent some of our student games for them to look at, and they were trying to commercialize it. So still work in progress. I need to follow up with them, what's going on right now.
Mr. Kevin, I find the last time you provide us the student project.
Okay.
From game study one. Maybe
okay.
I can share with the student now.
Okay.
It will take about 5 minutes.
Sure.
Maybe you have to stop share. I have to share.
All right.
Moment. Can everyone can see?
Okay, so what you saw just now are just final year student works. Most of them are using Unity. Some of them are using Unreal Engine. I have one more work, maybe I can show it to you by Unreal Engine done by the students, but I do not know whether I can talk while I'm sharing or not because I'm not used to sharing in Zoom. So anyway, let me try to do that. Share sound. Okay. So can you see the screen?
Yes, can see.
Can see, yeah. Okay. So basically, this is a student work done using Unreal Engine. I'm not sure whether the sound is playing or not. I think only one level is working right now. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so this is a Topo the Alchemist mouse. So basically, this player turned into a mouse, and then now he had to find his way how to unchange back to a human. So that's what the cutscene is trying to tell you, and they have to find all the clues or the items to break the magic spell. So let me just okay. So it's come to the game now. So you have to avoid the skeletons, I think. Sorry, I don't know what's the controls to hit the board. I think you can see yeah. Okay, I'm very bad at platforming, as you can see. Okay, never mind. Okay, instructions. How do I break the thing? Use potion, aim. Doesn't tell me how to break the thing. Okay. So basically, yeah. So basically, this is one of the FYP student works using Unreal Engine, and they managed to do one level where the room where the character is to collect all these potions to cast a magic spell, something like that. Yeah. All right. So I hope that gives you an idea what the students are capable of doing. You basically be learning mainly Unity as well as Unreal Engine for your works.
Mr. Kevin, just now the project you show, is it the game development student will work with a game design student together, one project?
Yes, correct. So normally in a final year project, there will be 3 students working in one project. So they can also choose to work solo if they want. But of course, the scope will be smaller. That's why some of the games you saw earlier, maybe they're lacking in quality and stuff. That's because it's a one student project. If let's say there are 3 students working on a project, then obviously we expect the scope and the quality to be higher, like what you saw, what I showed you there. And yeah, so we encourage the technical students, which are the programming students, as well as the art and design students to come together to work. Because when you go out and work in the industry, that's what is going to happen. Yeah, programmers and artists and designers have to work together. So that's why I say this is a holistic program. We encourage you to do it as you learn your courses, because we're trying to simulate what you do in the industry. So when you go out and work, you are more industry prepared that way. Okay, so and if you know, the 21st century learning is also about collaboration and not just working all by yourself. So these are the skills, 21st century skills that are highly sought after by all employers out there. Okay, so these are the kind of holistic skills that we inculcate and develop here in Utah.
Mr. Kevin, and also want to clarify, is it every student, game, no matter you are game design student or game development student, they need to have this kind of final year project, means they have to work with each other for final year?
Well, they work with each other right starting from year 1 actually. So there are certain courses that you join, they are both shared common with game design as well as game development. One of the courses I can give you example is Introduction to Fundamentals of Vector Graphics. So you learn Illustrator. Both the art students and the technology students have to learn this. Yeah, because like I said, when you join a game company, if somebody is sick, then you don't know how to operate the machine, then you have to wait for this person to come back. So that's why we learn this kind of things, so that you can be a one-man show if you need to, but obviously you can't be as efficient as a full team. So that's why even in FYP final year project, a one-man person can make a game. Whether you join the game design course or whether you join the game development course, you can make a game. It's only whether the game is complete or not, whether it is big scope, up to certain standard or not. Yeah, because if you do it all by yourself, obviously it's very challenging. You have to do the artwork, you have to do the design work, you have to do the programming, a lot of things to do. So you don't have enough time to make high quality product as a result. But to answer your question, Michelle, students already start collaborating in year 1. So you get to know your schoolmates, your teammates, then you know who you like to work with, who you don't like, who have bad attitude. And from there, you know, by year 2, you already know, okay, for year 3, my final year, I want to work with this person. This person I want to avoid, things like that. So we encourage you to collaborate. So the collaboration starts at year 1 already.
So I think most of the parents or the student also would like to know about where they should go for the internship, and is it get any pay or how?
Okay, so internship, like I said, there are lists of companies that you can search online, game companies. So far, my students have no problem finding internship. So you just need to write to the companies, and if they have a position, they will let you in. And of course, if you're struggling to find, then you can always come and look for me. I'm the head of department. We can help you to find companies, but obviously we can't force them to take you in, but we can help you to find companies and maybe put in a good word for you, see whether they want to take you in or not. But of course, it's up to your skill to convince them. Yeah, just like when you look for a job, you know, you can't expect your parents to convince the boss to hire you, right? So you need to convince the boss yourself. So that's what we do lah. So we can put in a good word for you if you want. But normally the students will find the companies themselves. There are plenty of companies, so it's not a problem. It's not really an issue. Okay, I think there's a chat question. What is your advice for the younger gamer who's still in primary school and secondary school? So you want, okay, you need to understand two things. Yeah. First of all, being a gamer and making games are two different things. It's a good thing that you love to play games, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are suitable to be a game developer. Okay, you love to play football doesn't mean you are going to be a great professional football player. Okay, we are talking about professional development here. So, but having said that, you have the interest to play games is already a good start, because obviously you need to play a lot of games and know a lot about games before you can make games. If you don't know anything about games, how can you make a good game, right? So being a gamer is actually a good start. Okay, but you need to do more than that. When you play your games, you need to ask questions like, how they do this? This special effects is awesome, but as far as I know, the mathematics calculation, impossible. You know, how they managed to put like millions of things in there. When I try to run this software with my 3D program, it will crash. But how they do it in the game? So these are all the dirty tricks that they do in games that other program cannot do. So these are the skills that you will pick up when you join our program. We teach you how to do all these dirty tricks that can make the thing run, even though by right, the computer cannot handle it. Okay, you learn how to optimize your assets. So my advice to you is, when you play games, don't just play the game and then, okay, fun, not fun. Ask yourself deeper questions. Why was it fun? If I were to make this game, how will I make it better? You know, what area is lacking? I love this game, but why, if I were to make this game, I would improve it here and here and here and here. And I'll list it down, why I should do this, why this one should not be there. So when you have this kind of inquiring mind, critical mind, then you are on the right path to being a game developer. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So don't just play games and just nice, not nice, like that. Okay, think deeper a bit, yeah, because that will help you to analyze and help you to make better quality games. You're always always analyzing what makes it good, what makes it bad. If I were to do it, how can I make it better? All right.
Any further question, Thomas or Karen or others students? If no more questions, I thank you, Mr. Kevin, for sharing. Before we end, please help me to fill up the evaluation form over the chat box there. Yeah, the evaluation form. Help me to click in and submit the form. And please allow me to introduce you about our Cyber Open Day. Okay, for your information, we have a Cyber Open Day start on 20th of March to April 4, 9 to 5 every day. You can scan this QR code to visit us. So you can, after you scan it, you can see the main lobby. We have the Utah, Kampa, Sungai Long. You can search by program. Also have the webinar. Every day 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. we have the webinar. Okay. Also, you can see we have the career test, meet our academic counselor while the video chat, and also have the virtual campus tour and some student project over our Cyber Open Day there. Just now I have shared about you. So tomorrow our webinar will be what can you do with an architecture degree? is tomorrow 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you feel free and you feel this is suitable for your friend or your students, you can share with them. So don't worry, you still can view our webinar on our Facebook Utah for you. And also you can reach us website or Facebook, WeChat, or hotline or email. So our second open day is a virtual booth set up by the faculty and the service unit. Is an online digital platform. You can access anytime, anywhere, while any device, including your mobile phone. This is an online exhibition hall. So you can watch an introduction video, view the faculty, find out scholarship, loan, and more informations. So join us. If you have any question, you just engage us live chat with our staff from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. So thank you for all today. Nice to have a nice day. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.